Hello, senior tubers. Again, we have a little video today regarding Kim Davis, the Kentucky clerk. Well, let's talk a little bit about her. She's back at work, but not doing her job. Let me ask you something. I'm being fair to everyone, to you, to me, and to others. What job can you go to work and then tell your boss that you're not going to do your job and still get paid for it? Well, this is what Kim Davis is doing. She's going to work, getting paid, and not doing her job. To me, that's pretty unfair for the rest of us that have to work and do it all the time. But basically, what is the problem with Kim Davis? Because she refuses to give marriage licenses, which is one part of her job. And this is not about whether you support gays, you don't support gays, you are for marriage, you are against marriage, you are divorced, you're not divorced, you are Christian, you're not Christian, whatever. It's not about that. It's about the law. See, you all need to understand that when this lady refuses to do her job, she should not be at work and not getting paid. And the honorable thing to do in her case is actually to quit. If anyone is in a position where they cannot do their job for any reason, basically the honorable people, what they do is they quit and they go find another job. In her case, that's what she should do. She should quit her job, apologize for what she's done, and go to work for a private company, for a church. There she won't have to do this thing. But when she was elected in Kentucky, and listen, you cannot find any good argument to say that she has a religious right. No, she doesn't. Not when she works for the government. That's what you need to understand. You cannot mix the two. If she worked for a private enterprise, she can do whatever she wants, as long as she's not serving the public. And this is what she needs to understand. She's not being persecuted. She's being told to do her job and she's refusing. So here we go. This is the decision by the Supreme Court. The beautiful thing about our country is that we have the rule of law. That means that you and I cannot choose and pick what part of those laws we want to obey. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that in our country. That's why we have the great country that we have. We have the rule of law that we all need to respect. So we have a working society. When you want to pick and choose which one would you like, we have pandemonium. We have anarchy. That's not what we want. We want a peaceful, law-abiding country. We have had that. But when you decide to pick and choose, that's not how it works. The Supreme Court told us right here. So it's the law of the land. We don't like it, then we need to change it with laws. And that's what it is. But laws that are legal. Just because we don't like a law, it's not illegal. You see, that is the beauty of our Constitution. The Constitution that you also declare to follow and to obey. All of us. Father Barron discusses here the ruling by the Supreme Court, and he takes the side who said there's persecution of Christian, and that is way far-reaching, way more far-reaching than this is. No one is being persecuted at all. We're just being told that people can get married. That's it. Nobody's persecuting you because you marry. I'm married. I've been married for almost 40 years. Proud of it. But other people can change and get divorced. And what do? It's supposed to be a sin also to divorce Kim Davis herself had been divorced 3 times. So all of a sudden she found God. Just like every criminal. Think about this. She is a criminal when you think about, in the eyes of the Bible, she's a criminal. But what happened to every criminal when they go to jail and they go to prison? They always find God and they become good people. Some of them do. The majority are just doing it for the moment. And I think that Kim Davis is doing it for the moment. Really. And I'm trying not to be cynical about it. But, every time she got divorced, what happened? That she found God later? It's just a little silly, And then we should not be going through this because it's showing that we're just not being respectful of the rule of law, which is what makes this country great. You see, this is interesting. Gay marriage and the breakdown of moral argument. And I have to say that I am aware of how we have gone on the path of there is no moral argument also. So I can see that point of view. I don't think that you can actually use that on gay marriage, but we have to be careful. We have to be very careful that we don't go down that path of losing all moral argument in our lives. And that is one thing that we have to be so careful, and that's why the Supreme Court ruling is actually narrow in that sense, okay? Because I know that one of the biggest problems with any philosophical argument, political argument, religious argument is always the extremism that we will find by some. So we need to be careful that extremism, either of the left or the right, doesn't come into every argument. Extremism is always wrong. So we need to be careful about that. So let's not lose sight of that. In the end, what Ms. Davis needs to do is quit her job and go to work in a place that she will be welcome. Is she going to be an elected official? She cannot work the way she wants to. And that is all there is. There's no persecution. There's no anti-religious dogma here. It's just that she needs to do her job. And I hope you like this. If you have some comments against it or for, just let me know. I am always open-minded to see someone else's argument. That's one thing that I pride myself. So have a great day. Hopefully we can move on from this.